Hey everyone, welcome to Adobe Live. Today we have Rames, who will be taking us through image manipulation in Photoshop. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome to Adobe Live this week. Today we have a very special guest all the way from Malaysia. Welcome, Rames.
Thank you so much for having me.
We are going to get started today and we are going to look at, Rames is going to show us a bunch of things in Photoshop.
Yep.
Show us some tips, tricks, very exciting. We can already see there's heaps of people in the chat already. Thank you so much for joining us. Special shout out to everyone joining from Malaysia.
Yep.
Very exciting. I think your sister's here.
Yeah, she's here. Giorani.
Welcome to the chat. Please send us through your questions today. I'm sure we're going to have heaps for Rames, so definitely want to make sure we get through all of them. If you haven't logged in already, you can do so on the Adobe Live. I guess there's a button at the top there. You can use your Adobe ID for that. Otherwise, if you're joining us on YouTube, we'll also see the questions there, so feel free to add them to the chat and we'll get to those too. All right.
Yeah.
Shall we get started?
Yeah.
Why don't you begin by giving us a little bit of an idea of, for those who aren't familiar with what your work and who you are, give us a bit of a sense of your background, how you got started, what you do.
That'd be great. Hi, my name is Rames. I'm a digital artist from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And I've been using Photoshop for past 16 years. So let me quickly show you guys something.
Yep.
Yeah. So let me just brief through what I do. And these are some of my stuff. So it's very heavy when it comes to the Photoshop usage of it. Like literally, it's just me, spending 4 to 5 hours every single day. I think it's very important for me to create something new or literally learn, because I practice every single day, right? So these are the creation I've done so far. And right now I'm trying to explore more into the Hindu mythology, and I'm trying to recreate all the goddesses in the form of babies, because I think not many people have experienced it or have seen it. So I think it's nice to use Photoshop and then use my imagination, infused together to just showcase some of it, because I think from the messages that I'm getting, literally people are kind of amazed. And then they will do so many things out of the image that I've created, literally like phone covers, screensavers.
Wow.
It's so nice to see that. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. It's very, very nice for me to explore on this, because it's kind of like connected, because I'm being brought up in a Hindu family. So it's always nice to see and then do that and then share my imagination with everybody.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
How did you get started in Photoshop?
Wow, that's a long story short.
Yep.
So back then, 16 years ago, when I done studying in business, after I graduate, I kind of found out that that's not really my passion. Yeah, and then slowly I kind of think back a few years before. I remember sitting down, sketching, and then love watching all these science fiction movies. And then whenever I go and watch movies, and especially superhero movies, I'll try to re-imitate the pose that I have. I was just thinking, what if I'm the superhero? So I'll go back home and I'll ask my sister to actually, can you take a couple of shots of me posing, and then I'll try to take all these pictures, import it to Photoshop, and then start to manipulate from there. And then as days goes by, and I find out that, great, I've been superheroes, but I don't see any new concept in it. It's superheroes everybody know already. So maybe I should create something new out of this. So that's when I start exploring stock images and then put them together. And then I didn't know back then it's called photo manipulation. And then once I merge all these 5 different photos together, and then again changing color balance and whatnot, and then it forms as a new photo, and then it has a new message to it, and then there's a concept for it. And then once I share or show to my friends, they literally kind of mind blown. It's like, are you sure this is not a one picture thingy? And then are you sure it's all been bundled up together as one, like from different stock photos? And then I was like, yeah, that's and then I start sharing the behind the scene. I think it's very, very important to showcase it to people, because I love sharing, and I think it's a great platform for me to share some of stuff that I've done back then. It's for me, I want people to grow as well. So it's nice to show them behind the scenes so that they will learn something new every day.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we've got a whole hour of behind the scenes, which is very exciting.
Yes.
Very cool. All right. Well, everyone who's joining the chat, welcome. Hi to Ruben, who sits next to you in the office.
Yes, it's my colleague.
You've got all your fans joining. Cool. Well, why don't you get started by showing us what we'll be looking at today?
Sure. So today I'll be sharing with you guys this manipulation that I've done for Adobe. It's called the Adobe On Color campaign. And I think it's pretty awesome because it kind of like have this one Malaysia thingy in one photo. So let me just show you guys an indicator. What are these? So from top, you can actually see those are the Mount Kinabalu over here. And then there's Hornbill, Wow, Petronas Tower. So this Wow is actually a traditional spot, and then Petronas, obviously the one of the tallest building in Malaysia. And then slowly, if you go down, you get to see the Putra Mosque, and then that's at Putrajaya, and then you have endangered animals like tapir and the Malayan tiger. And then I like how I infuse all the different cultures of Malaysia because Malaysia is so rich in cultures and the diversity of it. And then I also have Lord Murugan, that's one of the longest and the tallest statue in Malaysia. And then I have the Christ Church in Malacca. And as you can see, it's actually the summarized version of Malaysia in one photo manipulation. So, and me being there trying to play with my childhood game, it's called Gasing. So it's nice. So I remember when Adobe approached and then they said, hey, did you like to collaborate? And I was like, yeah, sure, Adobe On Color, let me see. So growing up in Malaysia, seeing all these colors, I think it would be nice to just highlight them through subjects than just play around with colors because each of this literally means a lot. Me growing up, and for me to highlight every single subjects from all the part of Malaysia is something special. And based on the comment and messages that I'm getting, they're really liking it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's such a colourful, I guess, place. So why not highlight the colour of that place through just one image? It's done an amazing job. It's really, really cool.
Thank you.
Why don't you have a little, I guess, get into how you created that as well?
Yeah. So before I start, so this is the process that I'm going to go through today. Basically start with composition, literally take all the images, put together, and then we're going to jump into color correction. As you can see here, the colors are all different from the on the left-hand side of your screen. And I'll try to bump up the hue. And then next, move on to the adding shadows and lights and whatnot so that it looks like a 3D and it's like popping up from the screen itself. And also another reason why I did this is because I want it to look like 3D-ish. And you can't fit everything in one screen. Once you give this depth of images popping up from screen, it kind of gives you a different feelings to it. So yeah, that's the reason why I did this, and these are the process that we'll go through today. In case, again, this took me 6 to 7 hours, I need to mention, but I'll try to squeeze and show you guys how I've done this stuff in 1 hour or so. And then if not, no worries, I do have tips and tricks to show later on.
Perfect. Amazing.
Awesome. So let's get started.
Let's do it.
So I'm gonna just start by creating a blank canvas. Since it has to be wide enough, but then height has to be taller than the width, and I'll start with a blank canvas. And I also have the libraries ready for me because this is one of the longest manipulations I said, right? I need to crop all these images out, so I'm sure 1 hour is not enough.
I suppose that would be where most of those 6 hours went.
Yes, literally, 1 to 2 hours literally to just get all the images cut out.
Where have you got these images from?
These are all from Adobe stocks, and I also have other stock sites like Unsplash and whatnot.
Unsplash is such a great resource to find really good
indeed.
images that are free.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start off by having this phone over here.
Do you start by sketching at all?
Here's the thing, right? At times I do, but it's very rare. I rather use. So the thing is, whenever I got an idea, I got it in a visual form, and it's usually the output of it. So this is how the manipulation is gonna look like, and I will work towards that. Then me sitting down, sketching, try to find out what idea I should do and whatever not. So I think that saves time for me. Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, I think everyone works in different ways.
That is correct.
So you got to just go with the one that works.
That is correct. Yeah. I think there's never a right or wrong. I think it's all depending on your style. Yeah. Okay, I've placed the galaxy at the back. So I'm going to slowly put in the Mount Kinabalu. Let me place on top of the layer.
We have someone in the chat who says that they're your biggest fan.
Really?
Shout out to Fariz.
Fariz, wow, he's my manager back in the office.
It's really good to have a manager who's also your biggest fan.
Yeah, he used to
Make
work.
life easy.
Yeah, he's one of the funniest guy over there. And then that's done. So of course we need clouds, and then there. I think composition it's very important to know that how your artwork will look like at the end. Even before cutting, that's what I do. I usually just put it on top of each layer, reduce the opacity so that I can actually see how the final output gonna look like than me just cutting it out, out of nowhere. So that once you place it layer by layer, you know that's the output that you want. So it's always nice to do that.
So you're kind of starting quite loose at the moment.
Yeah,
and then you can refine.
That is correct. So there's some stage that you have to go through. That's that. And then I would like to add the fireworks.
Do you ever take your own images?
I do. I used to take a lot of pictures, and they are always in landscape mode. And then I do use it, but then I find it at times the angles and the right picture might not be there. So thank God to all the stock photos sites, I can get whatever image that I want.
I suppose if you're trying to find things like tigers.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot easier to find.
Yeah, it's like to go to the zoo and then to take that right position. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So in order to remove black background, stuff like that, you just use screen, so you don't have to crop it out. And obviously, removing black background from images like this will take time.
Such a pain.
And then and if you zoom in, if you get to see all this, I'll say dirts, and then an easy way to remove it is by just Control L, levels, and then you get to see how I've done that one. And then there's there, and then I would like to add in the hornbill. Hornbill is one of the famous bird in Kuching, Sarawak, and and also one of my colleagues' hometown. So it's kind of like very personal, and he kind of tagged me. He's like, "Oh, thank you for highlighting that because it's always been forgotten."
Have you ever seen one?
Yeah, I've seen the one in the zoo,
Yeah.
and I've been to Kuching, Sarawak, but then I think they can only be found in forests. Yeah.
It's kind of nice you can sort of create, especially when you've got an image like this where you've got all these little things, little moments that are personal.
Yeah,
make it
exactly.
really unique to
It
yourself.
kind of like I said, right, growing up in Malaysia, get to see all this, right, with your own eyes, and then putting it all together in one layout. I'm thinking of photo montage. I don't think so. The output will be that amazing. So I think by cropping out like this, and then there's a story to it. It starts from the top, where Gunung Kinabalu is one of the highest mountains in Southeast Asia. It's in Sabah. So it's always nice to just highlight it like this, and then to my follower, it's kind of like educate them what is Malaysia about. That's that. And then let me put in KLCC. That's one of the tallest tower we have.
This is making me want to go to Malaysia.
Yay! Do come over. So I have that. So I like how the object's popping out from the screen so that it's not sitting inside the phone. So that I create that 3D-ish. And then you need to mask it, so I'll just highlight the part that I want.
What was the thinking with having the phone as part of, I guess, the frame?
Oh, yeah, I have an idea behind that. The reason why I choose phone screen is because it's also to show to my friends who's in abroad. For example, almost all my followers are on Instagram, and I think most of people do view that content through Instagram, and it's usually phone, right? So I think it's nice when they see it through the phone as if like everything is popping up from there. So that's the concept behind it. Then that I'm gonna just position the wow. This is one of the it's called wow, literally WAU. This is one of the traditional spot that's usually played by the Malay friends.
What does it involve?
It is just a traditional game that they have. So I think there's a competition who can fly the furthest and who create the most creative design out of this. Yeah.
They're very beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
Do they sort of change from like region to region, or?
Well, I think it's all depending on the creativity. I think it's up to them in whichever way that they want it to be. Yeah. That's that, and I'm gonna slowly go to the mosque. No, I'll just get the tower first. This is our KL tower, like the one we have it here in Sydney.
Very similar.
Yep. I'm gonna put it here. Again, as you can see, I'm not doing any color balance yet. Just me trying to do the composition, and then yep.
You don't really want to get ahead and do colors until you've sort of finalized.
That is correct. Yeah, it's very important so that you are happy with the composition once you're done, and then you dive into color correction, because it will take so much of time if you were to go in and edit one by one. Yeah. That's that, and then let me just get the mosque. And also, it's nice to see the different religions coming together in one image.
Yeah, very diverse.
Yeah, very diverse. That's that, and I would like to take the church.
Guys, keep your questions coming in the chat. We definitely have heaps of time, so don't hold back. Vesta says these images are astonishingly great.
Thank you so much.
I think half the job would be like picking the images that you think
is
are
correct.
right.
Yeah,
You'd probably spend hours doing it.
Indeed. Yeah, I think it depends on your canvas as well, or the idea that you have. Probably if you want to look for a person who's talking this way, there are times where I find designers try to rotate that picture this way, and then it doesn't work, right? Because there are certain angles of a human face that we all know that when you rotate that person, it doesn't look natural. I think in terms of that, manipulation helps a lot, where you can distort or change the face and whatever not to get the right photo. Yeah. Wow. And then this is Lord Murugan's statue. This is one of the tallest in Malaysia. It's at the Batu Cave. Not sure if you heard it. It's where you have 272 steps to go to the temple area. Yeah. So this statue will be in front of the entrance.
Is it all in sort of like a gold material?
Yeah. From what I heard, the paint was imported from Thailand, because back in Thailand, all the statues will be in like gold tinted. So I think that's the reason why they use the Thailand paint. Literally, it will be like glowing at night. Yeah, it's so nice to see. I'm gonna put it here.
I love how like you've got all these little pops of color.
Yeah, different ones, and you'll be amazed how it looks like once I bump up the hue and change the color balance for each, and literally the 3D will trying to pop up here.
So you're just kind of going through and just finding the right position for each of these.
Yeah. So that I can showcase everything in one picture without overlapping. Overlapping is good as long as it can be seen by people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. Then we're gonna go for the Tianhao Temple. This is the Chinese temple. Very, very famous in India. From Malaysia, where you get to see people getting married here. Taking photos for their pre-wedding photo shoots and stuff.
Yeah, so colorful.
Yep. So even though it's hiding the mosque, you don't have to worry, because I will be doing the masking later on. Yep. And then I'm gonna start importing the lion dance. It's also one of the colorful things in Malaysia. So usually during the Chinese New Year, you get to see this a lot.
Are there lots of festivals in Malaysia?
Yes, like so many for each month, and I think it's nice to just experience them, because you learn how other people, how other people's culture is. You kind of appreciate it, and again, it's since we are all united as one country. We never differentiate so much. Like, for example, you are here, you are that person, this person. Any celebration, we gather together, stuff like that. I even seen an Indian guy playing lion dance. See, he's no longer into Chinese. It's about the diverse.
So nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite one?
Favorite one? If I were to, definitely, I think Thai Buddhism is cool. It's celebrated at Batu Caves. So a lot of people gather and then they do prayers. And I think it's very close to my heart, because being brought up in a Hindu family, and then you can see literally photographers around the world, Malaysians, Chinese, Malay people coming together just to watch the ceremony and festival. I think it's always nice. that, and I'm gonna just mask this very quickly.
We had a question who was just, I think, from Festus. I was wondering if are those lanterns on the temple there?
Yeah. So during Chinese New Year, during normal days, they usually hide all the lanterns inside their temple, and during Chinese New Year, they literally put it out.
Okay.
And then it's just amazing. It's just glowing. It's all like glowing in red color, and it's just mesmerizing to see that. Yeah.
You're doing a great job of selling Malaysia to me. I'm booking a trip there as soon as we get out of this.
Yeah, it's okay. So I just crop that in. I'll do some adjustment over here. And the food, I have to talk about the food.
Please talk about the food. It's one of my favorite topics.
Yeah, and we have like amazing spicy food, non-spicy food, and level of spiciness can get really high up until you can't even take it. But then, yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's just experiencing it. Yeah.
Is there quite a lot of diverse types of food there as well?
Correct.
Like the culture?
Because of the different culture. So we have obviously for Indian people, they are more towards spicers and curries and stuff. And then we are known for this outings called banana leaf. Like you just go to restaurants or order banana leaf, you get like a banana leaf with a rice and all different dishes around the rice. There's also a meaning behind it why they decorate the banana leaf such way. They say life, it should consist of sad happiness and everything else so that you appreciate life, right? So it's nicely done there in banana leaf. And then for Chinese people, it's so nice where you get to have all these noodles, right? That's that. And then Malay people, obviously, we had our breakfast. It's called nasi lemak. It's basically a rice that we call it nasi lemak literally means fat rice. And then we have peanuts, and then we have a dry fish, and then we have cucumber, and then it's also decorated around the rice. And you can, I think it's one of the Malaysians' favorite breakfasts.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, it is. The first thing I'm gonna do once I landed in Malaysia is that one. I'm gonna eat that. And then slowly I'm gonna add in right below the phone. It will be the grass area.
There was just a question about what you used to get rid of the background of the fireworks. I think someone missed that. So that was using the...
Oh, yeah, sure. I can do that again so that
Maybe
you get
you
the
can
idea. Yeah. So as you can see, it was normal, right? So screen, what it does is that whichever object that you have black background, it will remove immediately, just like that screen. You can see the different settings for each of the layers. So screen is something that I use almost all of my stuff because, and then some of the stock images were taken in a black background. For example, this cloud was taken, it's a PNG file, but it has a black background. So in order to remove that, I'll just use screen. So it saves a lot of time.
I was wondering how you did that because I was looking at that cloud thinking that's very well done.
Yeah, exactly. So it has a black background. The thing is, the stock image comes with that. So I assume it's also being used in film production. Since they use all this green screen and stuff, I think the black background does remove there as well.
Yeah, that's true. I think it has to be almost purely black.
That is correct. Yeah, even if it's not, it's okay. With levels, we can correct that.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna just remove the other part of the thing like that.
I'm amazed at how many layers are going into this.
Oh wow, that's
when I looked at the first image.
Yeah,
I didn't think there was this many.
There's a lot. And then I'm gonna slowly go to the tiger.
I think it makes you appreciate it more because I think the more you look at it, the more you realize there's a lot of depth to it.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you have fun making this?
Yes, a lot. Again, I like to use my wife to review my work. Reason because she's a PhD holder, but then even though I'm a designer, at times you feel like, oh my God, this is the greatest work ever. You don't want to do that because people like my wife will see them in a different angle, and she will usually just correct me. She'll just say, hey, I don't think so. It looks right. For some reason, I feel this way. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Because I think these are the feedbacks that we need to improvise ourselves, because we are seeing it from the creative side, but not as the like ordinary people, right?
Yeah. I mean, we do that a lot in like UI and UX sort of stuff. We test and we talk to people a lot, but
correct, user testing is very important.
Yeah, I don't think it gets talked enough about in like other things and other types of design, but I think it's so useful.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, at the end of the day, they're the one going to see it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so we need to make sure that they like it before we release it. Understand it. Yeah, that's where design wins, I feel. Yeah.
Can you explain to me this animal in the bottom left?
Yeah, so it's...
I've never seen one before.
Okay, it's tapir. They eat ants.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, the reason why I want to incorporate tapir and Malayan tigers, because they are endangered animals. And then it's always nice to... Also, when I show it to people, when people ask, you need to start to appreciate them, because I think they're no longer there anymore. Like, they are dying and stuff. I think it's nice to just, showcase that and to educate people. Yeah. So I'm going to remove that mark here. So I have 33 minutes. No worries. I have a lot of tips and tricks. I think I can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're definitely plenty of time.
Yay.
Plenty of time for questions too. Keep sending them through.
Keep asking questions. I love to answer all of it. And then we're gonna have some leaves I have here. So that's like popping out. Again, I'm not doing no color correction. It's just masking, trying to make sure everything's in the proper place. And then I'm gonna add in the other plant. The back of tapir. Again, Malaysia known for rainforest as well, so that's the reason why I add all these plants.
Yeah, very tropical.
Yeah.
I think it really helps with the vibrancy of the colours.
That is correct. Green, colourful stuff.
You almost got like a sort of rainbow happening.
Yeah. For some reason, it's trying... I see that, even though it was not intentionally done that way.
Yeah, I think generally, though, it makes the whole piece feel really balanced. It's really nice.
That's correct. That because of the tiger is trying to pop up from the screen, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just click on the tiger, mask it, and remove this part of the leg so that it looks like it's trying to walk up from the screen. Again, any brush will do. I'm using a very textured brush because the body of tiger is literally has a lot of hair and stuff, so it's because of the fur. Yep, that's fine. Let's go back to tapir.
Do you ever use a Wacom for the brushwork?
Yeah, I do use pen that comes with the Z-book. But at times, if I'm working really fast or if I were to do sketching and stuff, that's when I flip the whole Z-book and then do my sketching in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's like holding a pen and a paper.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, in case you don't know, you can actually flip this. Just like that.
Yeah, I've been watching because you've been doing zooming in and stuff on touchscreen.
Yeah.
It makes it like very...
Yeah.
Looks like it's super easy to do that.
Because unlike any other laptops, you... Like if I have to zoom in, I'll literally need to go to the magnifier, click on it, zoom in, and then use the other hand to do all the shortcuts. Here, literally, if I want to zoom in anywhere, I just zoom in like that, and then mask it. Let's say, for example, this one is trying to walk out, so I'll just mask here, like that, and it's easy. And then if you want to zoom out, it's as fast as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. And then let's see, let me see if I missed out anything. Grass is there, of course. I've forgotten one main object, that's myself. The reason why I put myself in a photo manipulation, especially this one, is because I want it to look very personal. Yeah, and it's always nice to have that kind of touch, I think, in your work, so that, at the end of the day, whatever we create is very emotional based. Like, there's a reason why I put this here, there's a reason why. And concept is also very important, so that it's easier to explain to people that why, the reason behind it, than just beautiful pictures all over. And then when people ask you, what's this? It's nice. It's beautiful. You don't want to do that. Yeah.
How did you get that photo of yourself?
Wow, it's taken by my wife, Jamuna. So what happened is that knowing that I'm going to do this collaboration, I was thinking of the concept, and once I got it, well, before I got married, when I was single, obviously my sister is the one who helped me out. And then now that I'm married, I have my personal assistant, which is my wife. She's so kind. She was like, just do whatever you want, whatever pose, I'll keep taking. And then, yeah, usually it's like, I already have that vision in my mind. I know, like, for example, this particular pose was taken like maybe less than 3 shots. Yeah. And then I'm going to place the gussing.
So what's this part?
Okay, gussing, it's my childhood games that we play at school and then at home where I grew up. Basically, you have like a rope that you will tie at the side of gussing, and you need to literally throw it to the ground like as fast as you can so that it spins. And if you're good enough with the rope, you can literally twist it underneath. There's actually a very thin nail underneath. It's not so sharp. So you can actually take it, throw it up, and you can put it into your palm.
Wow.
So it will still rotate. So it's a very nice game. And people get creative, people will draw on top of it so that it's very personalized. So you have a gussing that's different from other people. Yeah.
Do you still play it now?
No, I wish I have.
You got to teach your daughter.
Yeah, I think I should, because literally she will grow up and ask me, what's that you're holding? So I need to do that. Yeah.
Carry on a tradition.
Yes, it's a must. That's that. I think I have done using every single component that I want. Hibiscus, there. Hibiscus is our national flower.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so it's also very. It's something that I grew up studying, listening to it like many times. So it's so nice to have it here, and I want to have it beside the tiger. Reason is because, tiger can be fierce and whatever not, but the flower is there. It's very how they say, it's very fragile. So it's two different contrasts. Yeah. I want it to be there. So that's the reason why I put it there. There you go. We kind of have the whole layout here. Let me just check. Great. I have one more. Last but not least, the orangutan. It's also very known in Asia. They are very, very tame animal. They're very fragile, and they look very kind for some reason. I think that's the right word. They're very kind looking animal. And then I want the branch to pop up from the side of the screen, just like that. And then I'll just mask it very quickly. There you go. And I also have some leaves. He's trying to play with some leaf and popping up from the...
So much detail.
Yeah. I love working on the detail stuff because I think it's important to see how passionate you are in your work, right? Again, it depending on the concept of art, when you give so much of details like this and there's a story behind it, I think it's very important for people to relate to. Yeah. I have one there, and I want to duplicate that quickly. Rotate it as if the leaf is fall down to the ground, and I press Control and just do some distort here, and then the top here is like it's like the ecosystem stuff.
I think that really helps as well in terms of getting, I guess, the dimension. Make it feel a bit, you can see there's the ground there.
Yeah. There you go. I think I'm gonna done. Okay, next I'm gonna dive in to change the colors. As you can see here, the color of this stock image is not the same as the mosque, so I had to make sure that everything look vibrant. So that's the next step. So since there's two wow here, so I think it's nice to just change one of the colors. So this is what I'm gonna do. Click on the layer, and I press Ctrl U. That's when the hue and saturation comes up. So by sliding the hue, you get to see the wow changes its color to whichever color that you like. So I'm gonna go for red. I think it's a nice color over there. And of course, kite, you need the thread. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go up quickly, create new layer called thread. And then I'm gonna use the pen tool and just draw as if it's
nice.
It's coming up from the screen, just like that. Then move it up a little. Of course, we need for the other one. I'm gonna scroll down. I just created a duplication of the thread. I'm gonna press Shift, Command T for the transform, and I reuse that. And as you can see, it's clashing with the mask. It's okay. You can always drag your layers up and down. So it'd be nice to have it right at the bottom of the mask, just like that. And then if you find the angle is not right, you can always twist the wow, like that. Perfect. Okay, now let's begin changing all the color. And then I want to give a mood out of this KLCC. This is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to press Ctrl L for the levels. So that I've darkened it a bit, as you can, so that the, if not, it's fighting with the Mount Kinabalu. I think it's nice to have that depth here like that. And then I'm going to, for the Mount Kinabalu, I would like to use the adjustment, brightness and contrast, and then reduce so that it has that night mode, knowing that there's a galaxy at the back, you know, it's the Milky Way kind of thing. That's that. And then I'm gonna I want to try to separate or try to have a depth in between the mountain and KLCC. So I'm gonna create a new layer, right click on it, create clipping mask. This will be actually a gradient. Okay, I'll show you guys how I do that one. So I literally will pick a color that I like. It's a bit like this, and then I will just do that so that you can see the detailing of KLCC will pop up.
Yeah, much clearer.
Much clearer. So that's that. Move down, mask. Of course, I need to Ctrl L to just make it a bit contrasty, like that. You can see the difference here. So that's important. That, and then I want to bump up the color a bit. So Ctrl U. Throughout the manipulation, this is the color correction that I'll be doing. So basically play with levels, hue and saturation. And then you increase the hue. There's a Kel Tower, same thing. I go to levels, increase the contrast. And then the church, Ctrl U, bump up the saturation. Lord Murugan statue, Ctrl U, increase the saturation, and then with levels so that it has that 3D feel to it. That's the difference, if you can see. So I'm not going to go so much, just a bit will do. Okay, then going down, I need to brighten up Tian Hao Temple. So I will use the image adjustment, brightness, so you can see the colors start to pop up. Yeah. That, and then going down, I think the line dance is perfect. We don't have to do anything there. Yeah, very vibrant already. And then the tiger, little contrast. Increase the saturation first. There you go. And then
Libby in the chat is getting a bit anxious that you haven't saved your work yet.
Really? Oh, it's okay. With ZBook, everything's fine.
Sorry, I was feeling that as well.
Really? Okay. Don't worry, have a backup.
When there's so much going on, you sort of like, it's like muscle memory. You want to just quickly do.
Yeah, I do that. Probably because I'm live right now. I just want to make sure everything's okay. But it's okay. I think depending on you, at times they have this auto recovery thing that you set on Photoshop. I think that saves a lot of time.
I remember using that when I was younger, and they didn't have Autosave, and it was the worst.
Oh, wow.
You could spend hours doing something and just disappear.
Okay, I'm kind of happy with this. Let's go ahead and create the lightings. So I'm going to go just at the bottom of the phone. So if that's the phone, at the bottom, I'm going to create the lights so that it so that it looks like there's a glow. And there's the shadow, so that literally it looks like a 3D thingy. So I will choose a color from swatches, maybe this one here. Then I'll just increase my cursor, change the brush to something soft, but not so much of flow. And then like that. And then I'm going to reduce that one.
We've got a few people asking some questions on the YouTube chat. I'm just, Pratish is wondering where you get your inspiration from when you're starting these things out.
Wow, inspiration. Okay, I do get that a lot. I think inspiration is not something you need to look for. I think it's always around you. It's always been. It's about seeing things in a different perspective, right? So, for example, if I were to put a box in front of you, right in front of your eyes, right? Literally, you get to only see the rectangular of the box. Imagine try moving it aside. You get to see the whole box, right? That's how you should see things, rather than just one side of the angle. When you start seeing different angles, your mind will automatically trigger, and it's like, oh my god, there's actually another view. So I guess that's what I practice all the time. When I create my manipulation, I feel like people will literally need to do that, because seeing it from one angle and then you kind of like have this mind blockage saying that, oh, I don't think so, I can be creative like this person. That's wrong, because I think you've been looking at one thing at one angle.
I think it just makes it unique to you as well. Like, you know, you might say, oh, go look on this, go look on Behance, or go look at these other places. And sometimes I find that really overwhelming, because you're like, everyone's got their own thing going on. Right. It's really good. But if actually you're just trying to look at the world a bit differently through your own eyes.
That is correct.
You're going to get a unique view.
Yeah. I think it's the same for the photographers, right? Like, oh, I have the same camera. How come I'm not getting that particular composition? Is because when you seeing it differently, you get to show to the world, this is how I see things, and then that photographer will be known because he's keeps seeing stuff that we don't see. Yeah,
wow. Really good.
And then the glow that coming out from the screen, I'm gonna do this. So imagine having, this is what I imagine. You're in a dark room, you have a phone, you put it right on the table. Of course, the glow have to come out from the side. So that's what I'm trying to do. By pressing Control, you get to tilt like that, and then pulling out at the edge. Just like that. Cool. And then if you think the background could be any darker, so that increase the contrast, you can do that. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just decrease the brightness of my whole background so that you can see the difference. There you go. So this was before and after.
Nice.
Cool. And then now I'm gonna start adding shadows. Let me start with the tiger.
Do you sort of study anything around lighting or photography to know?
No, I don't. That's the thing. Since I'm a business student, okay, this is something that this design is something that I found later on after graduate. I think probably studying and seeing things differently triggered me to become a designer, because whatever I see, I feel things can look better. And kind of triggered me, maybe I was the one who should fix things. And then that's how I think I became a designer. I think it's like I said earlier, when you start seeing things differently, people will try to imitate you, which is good, I think. And it's okay to imitate, because you're literally learning, right? Yeah, that's life, I think.
Yeah.
You learn from things. And you're constantly learning. I think this is another thing that I would like to share with all the people out there. If you want to get good at something, please lock down a few hours in a day. I don't believe in, oh my god, 24 hours is not enough. I absolutely don't agree. When I'm single, I was doing Photoshop. I'm married now. I have a kid, baby Leah. And I'm still getting things that I would love to do every single night, because the fire that I have in me. I think it's something that you all should allocate maybe a time for yourself, because I think doing this, it makes me so happy. I think your inner happiness is very important, so that it can be reflected to other people as well. You can only help other people when you're happy. So you have to make sure you're happy. I think for myself, by doing stuff like this makes me so happy, and then and I would love to share to a lot of people. I think through my Instagram, and there's the reason why I show behind the scenes, because I want people to know that it can be done by anybody. That you don't have to become a designer to create something. I'm a business student. I can create. Doesn't matter if you wanna, you're probably a mom in a kitchen right now watching this. You always wanted to do this. I'm sure you can. It's a matter of doing it. Fixing a time in a day. Just if you have a lot of kids, no worries. Sometimes, most of the time people say you need 8 hours of sleep. You sacrifice 2 hours of it, it's still okay. Maybe you want to do things that you like. I think waking up, seeing this, at times what happened is that every time I did something, I get up and I'm like, oh my God, did I did this? Because I'm so connected to it. And then there's another thing though. I do find a lot of mistakes at times. And do you know mistakes makes me so happy? Because I know for the next artwork that I do, I will correct it back then. Because you learn from it. And that's what got me excited. You know, it's okay. Everybody do mistakes, but then it's a learning thing, right? So yeah, if you just sit in front of your computer, go like, oh, this is the best artwork I've done, I think you won't be creating tomorrow.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think everybody should constantly learning. Don't wait until tomorrow. That's
great life advice.
That's never tomorrow. That's true, right? You live today. I mean, it's something that I want to just share with people.
So good.
Let me try tiger.
We had Mel just asking, what model of the HP are you using?
I'm using the ZBook Studio X360. Yeah.
Is it new?
It's new. I've started using it like less than a year. It's pretty cool, especially when I get to play with two of my hands.
Makes things easy.
Yeah. Do we have time, or should I show them the other tricks?
We've got about 10 minutes.
10 minutes, perfect. Yep. I gonna quickly switch. So this is how usually I create shadows, right? I use gradient. Okay, I'll make sure that. So here's what other designers do. Again, there's never right or wrong. Some people will try to just copy paste this tiger, flip it over, and then try to create. Again, depending on the surface where you want the canvas to be. If it's on a glossy table, obviously you need to see a bit of blurry version of the object. So since this is a very matte type, I want to create a very generic shadow. Just a shadow because the light is coming from the back. So this is how I do it. I'll just color it at the bottom. It's very harsh, no worries. You can always mask and then reduce the brush size. Change it like this. Reduce to flow 60. That's perfect because I don't want it to be too harsh. And this is how I do. Let me just zoom in so that you can see clearly. This is a very harsh area, no worries. It's a very manual work, which I love doing. Shadows. I think when it comes to photo manipulation, shadow highlights, it's very important. Even though people know it's manipulation, when you have the right shadow effects, it will literally look so real.
I think it brings the whole image together.
Correct.
It's that kind of final touch that you're going to need on everything.
Yeah, and you can always adjust it by pressing Ctrl-T and then Ctrl to just do this, like that.
Just for those who joined the chat a bit later, do you mind recapping a little bit on where you get your images from?
Sure. Images, I got it from Adobe Stock, and some of the images were also from Unsplash. Yeah.
Perfect.
Let me just go in. Okay, so I'm going to fix the tiger's lighting. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just duplicate the tiger layer, and then knowing that the light is coming from the back. So again, imagination is very important. Imagine you being there. There's a light coming from here. Obviously, this part of the area will be dark. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just go Ctrl-U. Lightness, I'll reduce it. Just like that. And then I already mask it. So now, I will just erase the part where the light comes from. For example, like this. And remain dark for the face, because obviously the face is in front. So this is how I think again it comes with practice. You need to literally practice to know what is the correct lighting is like. And then I can reduce my cursor.
Lighting is one of those ones where I think you have to kind of do it a few times and look at what other people are doing to really get a feel for it.
Yes, correct. It comes with practice, definitely. Again, I love watching science fiction movies. I do look into details. I do watch movie 2 times for movie. Reason is because one, for the story. Second, to just see all the details. It makes me so happy to see, like, if this, let's say this superhero landed, let's say Iron Man landed on beside a car. I literally want to see, will there be a reflection of him on the car? There will be. So it's like, oh yeah, detailing. So yeah. It's always nice to watch movies. I feel it's for myself because I get inspired a lot.
Yeah, film's a really good place to start with those.
Correct.
They spend so much time thinking about lighting.
Correct.
Yeah.
And at times you're wondering if it's real or is it 3D. I wonder where's the green screen, it kind of triggered you. I think it's good to do that one. So now I'm going to just brush just a little bit there. Go, kind of have that 3D feel. And then I'm going to jump into tapir.
Actually, someone, I think Claudio, mentioned there was a tapir at Taronga Zoo. So I will go try and check that out.
Oh, that's great.
Thanks for the tip.
Thank you so much. So I've duplicated tapir. So I'm going to just Command U quickly. And same effect that I've done for the tiger, I'm going to do that here. I already masked it. So I'm going to just brush it on top. Just like that. Increase the flow. So that's how I do the lighting. Coming from right, and you can see like it's literally like a 3D-ish. So without the black tint and then with the trim. Perfect. Go in. It's perfect. Zoom out, and then if you at times you can always reuse assets. For example, this tiger's shadow is already been created. Usually what I do is I usually duplicate. I Command T. I will right click on the layer, I go horizontal and reuse it for other objects. So you save time there. So by pressing Control again, you tilt the whole shadow and then proportion it. You can just adjust the position and stuff like that according to the animal. Perfect. And then we have leaf over here. So I'm gonna just press Control U to decrease the brightness. Obviously, because the lighting is coming from the right direction, not so much of that one. And then I'm gonna look for myself here, do the same. I'm gonna duplicate and then Control U, decrease the lightness. Let's zoom in and then mask it. And then you can literally see how the lighting looks. There you go.
So you're just putting like a little bit of light on the edges. Yeah.
So obviously the light won't touch this part of the area, so I'm gonna just leave it that. And also I think the photo was taken literally outside my house, where it was literally outside the balcony, and I was like, hey, the light is coming from the other direction, and the visual I have obviously is a phone. I'm sure the light has to look similar, and then because images can be tricky, like the lighting. Photos taken indoor and outdoor, there's a lot of difference to it.
Yeah.
And then depending on how you play the color and tone to match back to where you want to be. I think when it comes to photo manipulation, it's very important to have that practice of, this photo is taken outdoor, but I need it for the indoor, and there will be a tons of editing you need to do to make sure that it doesn't look like photo that's taken from the outdoor.
It's so hard. I've often been in those situations where you're trying to get the lighting just right to match another lighting, and you can spend hours on it, and then you realise it still doesn't look the same. So hard. So it's a good tip for, especially I guess when you're making your own assets and you're out going and photographing your own things.
That's correct.
Think about the lighting and keeping things consistent.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just, I think almost done here, and then of course I need to also do that the same for the gassing over here. You go in, mask it, and then you erase only the side part of the gassing. Perfect. And then obviously the shadows is very important, so I'm gonna go in there, fix my shadow right at the bottom of the portrait.
Oh, we just had a question in the chat from Josh, who's wondering how you start such a complex composition, and I think I'm getting the sense that what they want to know is a little bit more around, like, once you've got that composition, like how do you know that that's the right one? How do you kind of settle on that?
Right. That's never a one composition. Obviously, when you start putting things together, I think depending on what do you want to achieve. For example, does it first make you feel like, is this what I want to show to the world? It comes with practice. I think you can have different types of composition. Just sit down and then see it from a different angle. Will a person who is a non-designer, if that is the go-to, like the person who will be seeing later on after you're done, has that same feeling that you have, then yes, go for that composition. I think it's try and error as well. Like you just need to find out whichever works. At times, probably it doesn't work because you didn't have the right stock image. I think that's when you need to manipulate some of the photos, just make it horizontal or flip it or take a other photo and then place it on top of it, to achieve what you want. It's very hard to find one photo that will make you happy. Yeah.
Yep. So trial and error.
Definitely try and error. Definitely about practicing a different composition will work. I think it will, even if the other composition didn't work, you can always apply it for the other job that you're working on. I think it's all about just review it. Like literally, the canvas is yours.
Yeah.
Like you can just blow it up. Make it really wide, and then place all these different compositions. See if deliver that message. I think that message is very important. Like I said, if there's a concept for it, and then if people understand it, and you know better than anyone else when it comes to explanation, I think that's when your, like I said, design wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good.
And then I'm going to create my shadow. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start from here. Again, I'm imagining the light should be something like this. Go up because there's actually a space in between. I'm going to go up here just like that. And then this. And then I'm going to use the gradient tool and do that. Zoom in. No worries on the harsh lines. We can always fix it. So this is what I'm going to do. Increase my brush and then go in, do this. I think it's also about having fun. Yeah, I think it's good to see from that angle that you're having fun doing work. You don't see work as a work, and then because then you will lose in creating this, right? I think that's when your soul or you're spiritually connected to your work, and then you don't even realizing, am I actually doing work?
You're kind of in the flow.
Correct.
Forget about everything else around you.
Correct. Yeah. I think it's a very nice feeling to have.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's what I love about doing this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like when you're in a role and you're being really creative. There's nothing like it.
Yes. And then that feeling of, wow, did this? I think that feeling when you're done doing anything, I think it's like top of the world.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of done. Wow.
Amazing. Good timing as well.
Yay, we have 2 minutes.
2 minutes left. I wanted to finish on a question that we had in the chat. And Vignesh, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, wanted to know if you could share some ideas or advice for young designers.
Okay. First, find out if you know what you like, right? Once you find out what you like to do, you start to practice. Very easy. You just need to focus on stuff that you like to do. Like I said, right? You try to do research. Okay, have people done this? If yes, then it's time to think from the other angle. Like I said, there's never a 360 that's more than that, right? 360 if it's like all around. Try to see from different angle. Know your style. It comes with a lot of practice. I feel the more you practice, you will literally know what you like. I think that's how I discovered that photo manipulation is my thing. The reason because from doing by altering myself into superheroes, and I was like, oh, Photoshop is amazing, and then but I don't see I'm going anywhere. And then again, when I do that superhero stuff, I know photo manipulation is already there. It's just that I don't know what's the name back then, right?
Yeah.
So because I'm taking few images together and then lump it up together, and then I know that photo manipulation is my thing, and then I recreate the whole work that I've done by creating a story out of the manipulation that I've been doing for past 16 years. Everything has a story, and then it's nice to share that story with everybody. I think it's very close to you, the artwork they've done, because it's very emotional, It's not like, oh, I'm doing this because it's colorful or nice. I think once you have this touch or emotion towards your artwork, you can explain it better to people. Yeah, it's all about practicing. It's a mantra that I have.
Yeah. That's fantastic advice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining in on the chat. Thank you for your questions. Tomorrow and Friday we have Adobe Symposium, which will pretty much be all day live streams. There's going to be demos, there'll be ones on Photoshop, amongst heaps of other Adobe products. Ramesh will be back on Friday, and we'll be talking a little bit about a collaboration he's been working on, which is really exciting. So you can join us on YouTube, and yeah, don't miss out. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
See you later.